Hi, it's me, Vicky Marie. And it's lovely to see you all here, as usual, chatting between yourselves. I hope you've had a good Monday. Monday's always a bit of a strange day, isn't it? But I've actually had a lovely Monday. I'm busy Monday, but so far nothing terrible has happened. Normally things go wrong on a Monday, don't they? Anyway, it always seems that way to me. So, oh my goodness. So that rant of the day that I did today because of something I saw on the Sky News. And then I started looking into this serial killer, Michel Fourniret. And I had heard of him. He was like, because obviously I watch a lot of true crime, and he's sort of come up on different sort of videos that I've watched, or I don't even know where I'd heard of him, but I knew I'd heard of him. But I knew no details whatsoever, really, or just vague details. I knew that his wife was involved somehow, but I didn't know, that there was a British girl, as we found out earlier today. I didn't know that. I didn't know he died. And I didn't know that his wife was still in prison. So in fact, I didn't know anything as I've started looking at it today. This is a hell of a story, or it's not a story, but oh my God, it's like just when you think you've heard it all and then you hear more, you hear an even more outlandish story. But what I want to tell you about, so before we get into it, I want to tell you again, just in case you haven't got your Christmas jumper yet, I want to just show, because I've ordered one, but it hasn't arrived yet. Soon as I'm not wearing it yet anyway. I'll wear it from the 1st of December. So if you've not ordered your Christmas jumper yet, go onto this site. This is someone who helped me out with my site. I've still got a few problems with my site. It's the shipping. I just can't get the shipping sorted. But anyway, I love these jumpers. And as I say, I have ordered one. So you will be seeing one on me from the 1st of December, when I start the build up to Christmas. Not that far off now, is it? So I expect you're all gearing up for Christmas. Anyway, so yeah, the link to the site is in the description on this video. Please go and have a look. There's not only Christmas jumpers, there's lots of things. There's something for every price range, for every, there's T-shirts, there's aprons, hoodies, etc., stuff for horse riding, these principal daily planners. The only point now, some people like these, I like them, but I would never use it. I've had them before. I think, oh yeah, I'm going to get a planner. Look, you've got a Christmas Day planner. It's only €1. Well, yours will be in pounds, mine's in euros. I think they're brilliant ideas, but just never fill them in. I think a Christmas Day planner would be good, because I don't know about you. Have you ever done it on Christmas Day? When you get all your, because that roast dinner, isn't it? That bloody Christmas dinner, there's so much involved in it. I made a roast dinner the other day for the first time forever, because obviously you don't make them here when it's hot. And my son had said, oh, I fancy a roast dinner. So I made a roast dinner. Oh my God. It's the washing up afterwards, isn't it? I thought, now I remember why I don't do this very often. I was still washing up like 2 days later. Anyway, but it's handy, because quite often on Christmas Day, especially as you start drinking the Bucks Fizz, as I like to do on Christmas morning, you're getting all chopping and prepping, and you're having a little drinky poos. And quite often after Christmas dinner, I find, like, I don't know, the stuffing in the microwave or something else that I've forgotten to put in the oven. I've got it all prepared, and then I've forgotten to actually put it in. I've never quite forgotten the turkey yet, but forget other things. So Christmas Day planner might be quite good, because then you can tick off things, because it is very complicated, isn't it, a Christmas dinner? Anyway, that's the first thing I wanted to show you. Now, what else do I want to show you? So I've got all the animals to show you. Now, don't forget, if you're not even if you're not a member, I know a lot of people on here are members. As we're building up now to the end of the month, please send me by email the photos of your animals and their names, or your pets or animals that come into your garden or whatever. Now, we've got a lot to look at, so I'm going to go through them quite briefly, I think, just because there's so many of them, which is brilliant, because I asked people to send me in their animals, and oh my God, they certainly did. So we're going to have a quick look at them before we carry on. Then I'll say hello to you, then we'll actually get into this case. So here we go. And I'm really going quite quickly tonight, because I've got a lot to tell you about in this case. It's a story that's very, very involved. So we're just going to have a little look at now, at the end of the month, what day is the actual last day of the month? Anyway, I will, I love that picture. I will be putting a video together of all the different animals. So make sure you get your animals sent in. Oh, they're so cute, all of them. Whether you're a member or not, some people that sent animals in already are not members. Look at this. This is a new one. This is Binky with Colin the carrot. We've not seen him before. Oh my God, my dogs would destroy that carrot. That carrot won't be alive after 2 days. Bubble, Bubble, the Three Musketeers, Chica, Pippa and Kelly. Coco, 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 Dante, 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 Darcy, and here we've got Lily, TJ and Nelly, Dobby, Dumb and Dumber, Frisia, Ruby and George, Gilly. I mean, God, do you know, that reminds me of someone that I watched on a YouTube video. No, it's no, it doesn't. Okay, the Gremlins. Hamish. I love these wild animals. One of the members has sent in quite a lot of wild animals that go into their garden. I absolutely love them as well. Look, go in there and they feed them. Heidi and Poppy. Heidi. I love that. This is one of the wild creatures. Now, these are new. I don't think we've seen these before. These are some little ponies. They don't belong to the person who sent them, but they're in the same stables as their horse. These little ponies, look at them. I want one. Well, I want one at least, if not two. So cute. Oh my God, so cute. How can people hurt animals? Honestly, I just don't understand it. So this is sort of one that, like, someone who lives on like a bit of a small holding, I suppose you'd call it, in Australia. I think this is one. Oh, this is one of the wild animals that comes in someone's garden. Another one. Look at them. You can just see them peeping over the fence. I love that. These are their gerbils, or I think they're gerbils, but they haven't got names. They've got so many. Geese. A kangaroo. Jessie. Oh, God, I haven't got the names of these two beauties written down. Sorry, I haven't put the names on them. And again, now I'm sure, maybe I wasn't sent the names, I don't know. But anyway, send me the names, whoever's they are, you know who you are. Maybe you did send them, but I might have, it was all a bit mad last week, as you know. Oh, oh. Little lammies. I thought they were goats, but it says here lambs. Lizard, Marley and Lottie, Milo, Misty. That's a beautiful picture, isn't it? Misty. These remind me of the little deer peeping over the fence. Oh, this reminds me, of hear no evil, speak no evil, and say no evil, or whatever it's like. Molly. Another Molly. Another Molly, the tattoo of the dog Molly. And this is a new one, Morgan. Beautiful. They're so shiny, aren't they? And lovely. Mr. Barbar and Branston. Ollie. Him again, Olympus Ollie. Look how beautiful. Oscar, Percy, Phoebe, Pig. Sure, it's got a name, but I haven't put the name on it. Piper and Tucker. Poppy. Some rabbits. Rafa, Riley and Bo. Rafa, Riley and Poe. Rafa and Tilly, because unfortunately Bo's not with us anymore. My Riley. My Rocky in the shirt for the best, the only team in Manchester. Sadie. Shadow, Shelby, Snake, Stanley. It's my dad's name. I love that. Sydney, Harley, Millie, Thimble, Tia, also known as Big Rocky. I must put a better picture of her than that up. My Tigra, a dog I had before. Tiny, TJ. So this is no, we've seen TJ before, but not this particular picture. Tucker, Sadie, Piper and Phoebe. Some turkeys. Looking forward to Christmas. This is my little cat that I had, Twinkle, that she's had to go to a new home. Wilson, Yoda, who caught Danilo Cavalcante. Oh, I think I might have got these the wrong way around. So this is Ziva, I think. Ziva. Oh, and we were a bit querying about why she had knickers on. Well, it's their panties for when she's on heat, apparently, bless her. And this is Zeus. So I got them the wrong way around. This is Zeus, not Ziva. Ziva is the other one. Okay. So let's say hello to you all before I get going. Gosh, I'll go far, far up. Hi, Chumba. Hi, Mal. Hi, Rio. Okay, see you later. Hi, David. Hi, Desi. Hi, Tina. Hi, Jackie. Heather, hi. Hi, Charlie Angel. Oh, chatting going on, of course, it's Vicky Marie chat, so of course you're all chatting. Is it cold there, Heather, tonight? I don't think Princess is here. Well, I haven't seen her yet. Hopefully she's here. Somebody said hi, Saskia, but I didn't see Saskia sneaking. But if you're here, hi, Saskia. Hi, Julie. All right. Somebody said hello, Saskia, so I just presumed she was here. But bye, Rio. Have a good evening. Oh, yeah. Don't forget to order your Christmas jumpers. Yeah, I like the Vibes one as well. Oh, Sunday, I remembered why I don't really like, I mean, I do like cooking Sunday lunch, but it takes all day to cook it and it takes all day to clear up after it. At least your son cooked it. Yeah, he doesn't really do Sunday dinners. He made, David has said he should be making you a nice dinner. To be honest, I don't think I could stand the mess, but he does sometimes make pancakes. He can cook. He could make himself a Sunday dinner. He could make us a Sunday dinner. I'm trying to think if he ever has. He might have done once, but I probably just never encourage that again because he doesn't, like I tend to wash up as I go along, like you clear up as you go. Not my son, so you sort of go in and the kitchen looks like Beirut, so anyway. We are animal lovers on here, Heather. If we're not, well, it's like adios. Kelly, hi Kelly. Yeah, I think we're all agreed we like animals, don't we? We like animals. Hi Renee. Gosh, I'm going dizzy now going down here. I honestly am not. Yeah, I like Baileys. That's why I never buy it, because if I buy Baileys, it just doesn't last 5 minutes. There's certain things I just can't have in the house because I won't drink them responsibly. And of course, Baileys is expensive, isn't it? But here in Spain, I'll be showing you all this through Christmas. I've got so many plans for December, like to show you the sort of equivalent, like we've got the Quality Street and, the roses and all the traditions that we have. What the Spanish do, and one of them is they have an equivalent to Bailey's, let's say, but it's a lot cheaper. I'll say that, but it tastes just as good, I think. But maybe not quite. Sorry, I'm reading more. Yeah, Heather, well, if it's cold where you are, imagine how cold it is in the north. It's bound to be colder. It's always colder in the north, isn't it? Obviously, because it's the north. Look, we're already talking about Christmas. I normally ban any mention of Christmas in my house until the 1st of December because I don't like going to getting too, too advert, because otherwise it seems to go on forever, doesn't it? Just for one day. I like the Aldi one, Jackie, and I think it tastes lovely. Yeah, they sell it here in Spain. We've got Aldi in Spain, so the Aldi one is just as good. Bailey's is a little bit special though, isn't it? I suppose, but you can get Renee, you can get probably 4 bottles of that for 1 bottle of Bailey's, can't you? So get 4 bottles because you were going to spend 20 quid probably on a bottle of Bailey's or however much it is now. So get 3 or 4 bottles, knock yourself out. Okay, I think I've been through everybody now. Thank you all for being here. So let me just say thank you. Thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you to all of you that have given me a like. thank you all to all of you who've supported me with lovely messages and emails through the difficult week last week. And thank you to all my members, especially those of you who've gone a little bit further in supporting my channel. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who's either sent me a soup, or bought me a coffee, or supported me in any way. I really appreciate it. Okay, so let's have a look at this twonk. Now, he is an absolute twonk, or he was. I mean, he's not with us anymore, thank goodness. But, you know, sometimes you just think, I think obviously the reason we've not heard loads about this case is because it's a French case. So a lot of the things that I was researching today, a lot of them are in French, and I do know French. I'm not fluent in French, but I can understand what they're saying. I can more or less put a sentence together in French, but I understand quite a lot of it. But obviously there's no point in putting it on here unless it's got subtitles. So I have found some videos. Right, let's start off with just looking at a photo of this guy, or some photos of this guy, because I really think he's a typical example. Right, so this is him when he was young. So Michel Fourniret is called. This was him when he was young. He is one of those that walks amongst us. You know, his victim, one of his victims, the last victim that he had who survived, and she was the reason how he got caught in the end. She said she thought he was a teacher. You know, he was like, just seemed sort of so normal. Sorry, it was one of his first victims before he started actually killing women. He was a serial rapist. When you hear this story, honest to God, I was just going, what? It's literally one of those. But you can see from him, he would just blend in, wouldn't he? I mean, you wouldn't even notice him as one of those sort of, he's just like a typical twonk. There's so many of them that just seem so nice, so ordinary. And when you see their true colours, believe it, because when someone shows you their true colours, that's the real them, because otherwise they won't be capable of doing that in the first place. I feel like I found that out this week as well. Though I think I always knew it right from many, many months ago. But look at him, Mr. Ordinary, Mr. Normal. You know, he looked, certainly as he got older, he's just nondescript. When he was younger, well, it looks like he's got dungarees on there, which are a bit strange, aren't they? But of course, dungarees were probably in fashion. It was probably the time of Come On Eileen, I don't know. But yeah, he looks sort of weirder there when he was younger. When he got older, he just looks like your average middle-aged man. You just wouldn't even register that he was odd. And this is his wife, Monique Olivier. And as she had black hair when she was younger. Here she is when they were arrested. I think this is her when they actually first met. I don't know. She's another one. Oh my God, wait till you hear this story. What a story. Just unbelievable. Honest to God, if anything would, you know, there's many cases that we read and we're like, oh my God, can't believe that. Oh my God. But this is just unbelievable, I think. And it's always worse when there's a woman involved with a sort of a serial killer, I think. You know, I know there are lots of nasty women out there. I know that. But it's still, you just always feel that, like, you always take that step back, don't you? Especially she's a mother. And I mean, she affected her own children, or they affected their own children by everything that happened. Obviously, when it all came out, you know, their children just one of their daughters actually deleted herself when she found out, when all this came out. It's very sad. So she was another victim. She was another victim of these horrible people. So that's him. That's Michel Fourniret. Now, as I say, I didn't know loads about this, but I found this article from the Sun, which, you know, the Sun always does sort of describe things well, I've got to say. I don't like their current headlines. I don't mean today, I mean just generally. I don't like the stance they take on things. But they always seem to go in depth with their stories, etc. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read you hi DMV. There's probably a lot of, Charlie, there's probably a lot of people who have not heard of this murder, with him being French. It's only come to my attention, if you like. As I say, I've heard of him, but I've never really gone into this case. It's only because of the news today on Sky News about the British girl that his wife is going to be charged with assisting in her murder. Anyway, with no further ado, let us have a look at this story. And I honestly think you'll be shocked. You probably, if you're like me, we're all here because we're interested in true crime. And you probably think you can't be shocked, but you will be shocked. You will be shocked by this. So this guy, he was obsessed with VIRGINSs. So he said, so we can only take his word for it, because he claimed that his mother abused him many times, but he told one of his victims that when he got married, he was a VIRGIN, and he found out on his wedding night that his wife was not a VIRGIN, and ever since then he was obsessed with VIRGINs. So I'm not sure, because it's like, well, if his mother's supposed to have abused him, how was he a VIRGIN? You know, but then I don't even want to think about the details. So, but that's what he blamed it on. That's what he blamed it on. It's always a woman's fault, of course, isn't it? So it's either his mother's fault or it was his first wife's fault, because she told him, you know, she was pure. And then on the wedding night, he found out she wasn't, but he was. So if it's not his mother's fault, it's obviously his wife's fault. But couldn't be his fault, of course. Nah, couldn't be his fault. Okay, so let's have a look at this story. So here he is with his acknowledged victims. The police seem to think there's probably a lot more victims. And there he is in his bulletproof vest, just in case anyone shoots him. God, I wish someone had shot him. Anyway, God, you'd feel good though, wouldn't you? I mean, if it was your child, I mean, I don't mean just someone going off and shooting him. But if that had been your daughter, you would feel probably quite good if you did get a chance to shoot him. But anyway, then you're putting your soul in danger, as far as I'm concerned. You've got to rise above it, and it's hard. But you can see they were very young girls. I think the British girl maybe was one of the oldest ones. But anyway, let's see. So they're calling him here the VIRGIN hunter. This is when he died. So this article, what's the date on the article? God, you can never find the date. Oh, there you go. So this article was from the 3rd of February 2021, which is when he died. So it was big news apparently when he died. I missed this. I can't believe I missed it. Because I do, as I say, normally take an interest in true crime, but I don't read the Sun. So I've only found this because I've been looking for it. I wouldn't, maybe I should read the Sun every day. I don't know, online. Anyway, he was the virginity-obsessed murderer, the Ogre of Ardennes. That's what they called him. He kidnapped, raped, and butchered young girls. Wait till you find out how it all came about, though it's awful. Anyway, Michel Fourniret's blood-soaked spree of rapes and murders only ended in 2003. I don't remember that either. It's not that long ago, is it? Not for someone of my age. That seems like yesterday. When his last kidnapping victim gnawed through string binding her hands and feet, allowing her to escape his van and get help. She was 13 years old. Now, we're going to hear from that victim later. The videos that I've for us to watch on here, I've saved till the end, because I don't know if they're going to pick up on copyright. You know, where it's like I've taken these videos, I'll make clear where they're from, but, you know, it's fair use, really. But sometimes in a live stream, as we've seen, YouTube just pick up on something and then they just stop the live stream because they have to assess whether there is copyright or not. So, you know, it's like with the, I think it was the paranormal one. And I've sort of appealed against that and trimmed out sometimes there's like 30 seconds of copyright music or something that's in a video, but they will stop it for that. So just to let you know that I've saved the videos till the end, and if it does cut off, I'm going to just come off and then I'll just put a normal video out about this tomorrow. So she was talking about it, and she said, you know, so she was 13 years old, and she said to him, she asked him, are you because there was another gang around at the time, or say a gang, there was another serial killer around at the time in France called Marc Dutroux. And his wife helped him as well. So he's going to be the next subject of Serial Killer Sunday, as far as I'm concerned, because I didn't really know much about him either. It's funny, you just sort of hear these names in the background. So she apparently turned round to Michel Fourniret when she realised she was being abducted, and she said to him, are you the Dutroux gang? And he turned round to her and said, I'm worse. God, it's chilling, isn't it? And that 13-year-old girl chewed through her ropes. He tied her up with ropes. She chewed through them. She got out of the car, and a very kind lady was passing and actually stopped for her, because a lot of people won't stop, and you can't blame them. Well, I would have to stop for a 13-year-old girl or a woman, but, you know, you'd be scared, especially if you were on your own, a woman on your own in a car. You'd be scared of stopping, you know, just in case it was some sort of trap or whatever. She gnawed through the ropes, got out the car. The other lady let her in her car. And then as she was sat in the car explaining what had happened to her, he went past in his van. He was in like a white transit van. And the girl said to the woman, that's him in the van. And the woman had the presence of mind to write down his matricular, his number plate. And luckily, she did that, and that's how he got caught. But anyway, let's read about it. So his blood-soaked spree of RAPs and murders only ended in 2003 when his last kidnapping victim gnawed through string, binding her hands and feet, allowing her to escape his van and get help. She was 13 years old. Oh my God. When cops arrested Fourniret that June, they could not have imagined the nightmarish horror of the crimes they were about to uncover, committed by the serial killer and RAPIST, now known as the Ogre of the Ardennes, who died on Monday. He was 79 when he died, so he lived a long time, didn't he? Good God, they always live a long time when they're in prison, I think. Anyway, he passed away while serving life in prison after being admitted to hospital in Paris with respiratory problems. He confessed to killing 12 people, mostly girls and young women, who he also RAPD'd between 1987 and 2003. The Frenchman was helped by his third wife. Oh, his third wife. I didn't realise he had another one in between. Monique Olivier, who wrote to him as a pen pal. Right, wait till you hear this. This is how they met. He was in prison in the 1980s for sexually assaulting and raping minors. Monique Olivier, she wrote to him as a pen pal, and she knew what he'd done, and they made a pact by letter. They wrote to each other. And very quickly, apparently. Now, what I don't understand is how a prisoner, how are their letters not checked? Come on. So he's sending letters to Monique. This is her now. She's still in prison. But that's where they met, when he was in prison. And she wrote to him through like a church thing. You just know it's going to be to do with the church, don't you? Sorry, church, but you got to sort yourself out. She started writing to him, and very quickly they made a pact that he told her what he was into. She told him she wanted her husband murdered, and they made a pact that she would help him find young girls to RAPE and MURDER, and he would murder her husband. That was the pact, the unholy pact they made by letter. And it was never intercepted by the prison services. Crazy, I think. Anyway, so in letters, they made a pact. She would help him find virgins to satisfy his sick fantasies if he murdered her first husband when he got out. So here's the horrendous story of Fourniret, and it gets worse than this. You think that's shocking? Wait till you hear the rest of it. And Olivier's crimes, which includes the riddle of one of Europe's most infamous missing persons cases. So by the time he was caught in 2003, that was a spree of sexual violence that he had conducted that begun in the 1960s. He became known to the police after groping a minor in 1965, and he served 3 years in jail in the 1980s for this string of sexual assaults on children in the Paris area. And she knew that, this woman, Monique, she knew what he'd done, because he told her what he'd done, and she still went along with him and helped him. So while he was imprisoned, he placed an advert in a Catholic magazine. Come on, a Catholic magazine for a pen pal, to which she was a nurse, I cannot believe it, Monique Olivier replied. And in his letters, Fourniret described an obsession with virginity after suffering, he said, incestuous sexual abuse from his own mother. I don't believe him, because he told that other victim that he was a virgin himself when he got married. But anyway, it doesn't matter in a way, because even if that had happened, doesn't give him if his mum was a twonk, doesn't a twonkess, there's another word. If his mum was a twonkess, doesn't justify him being a twonk, does it? Anyway, he would also later claim that discovering his first wife was not a virgin on their wedding night led him to his preoccupation with the symbol of virginity. So as I said before, first of all, it was his mother's fault. Then it was his first wife's fault. None of it was his fault. So Olivia wrote to him offering a pact in which she would help him hunt for virgins if he would kill her first husband when he got out. In October 1987, they met for the first time at the prison gates when he was freed. But Fourniret never kept his side of the deal, but Olivier kept hers. Within months of his release, the couple began a frenzy of virgin hunting, abductions, rapes, and murders, which lasted nearly 20 years. So, killing for cash and sadistic pleasure. So, this is the next incredible thing. Their first victim became a grim template for how they would operate. In December 1987, Olivier spotted 17-year-old Isabelle Laville walking home from school. Bless her. 17. So he asked her for directions and persuaded her to get in the car. See, you're stupid when you're 17. You do silly things. Sorry, I don't mean that offensively, stupid, but you're silly. You do things, that when you're older, you just wouldn't do. You trust, especially sort of, you get she probably thought he looked respectable. Anyway, down the road, they picked up. Oh, this was the woman, of course, that asked her for directions and persuaded her to get into the car. And then down the road, he was posing as a hitchhiker after his car ran out of petrol. So, oh my God, this reminds me a bit of Hindley and Brady, because, of course, it was Hindley, wasn't it, would get the child in the car and then Brady would follow behind on his motorbike or whatever. So now I've got to give you some warning here, because some of this is a bit graphic. I'm surprised they got away with it, actually. There's some of the sort of very vivid things that they say, but I just don't want it to be triggered, I should say. In the vehicle, Fourniret grabbed her by the hair and asked her, was she a virgin? And she replied she was, according to the Herald Sun. Fourniret strangled her with rope before Olivier drugged her with Rofinol to sedate her. So yeah, I'm just warning, it's not nice, any of this. And they took her to their house where Fourniret raped and strangled her. Her remains were found at the bottom of a disused well in 2006. So this is the van that he used to abduct his last victim, the one that chewed through a rope and got out, and thank God. Anyway, the second killing was slightly different from the others. Farida Hamiche was 30, and she was the wife of a bank robber that Fourniret had shared a prison cell with. And she actually contacted him asking for his help digging up a stash of gold bars buried in a graveyard in March 1988. You couldn't make this up. This is like a film, isn't it? So she's trusting him. So her husband, who was in a prison cell with him, had obviously said, oh, contact him, you can trust him. And so she did, asking for his help digging up a stash of gold bars. So he agreed to help, and he was paid for the job. But a month later, he strangled her and took the gold bars for himself. And then him and his wife, Olivia, they bought a stunning castle called the Chateau de Souteau in northern France with this fortune. And Hamiche's body has never been found. So Farida, poor Farida, her body was never found. So then, of course, they've got this massive house. I think there's a picture there. So they bought this house, this chateau, which is like it's beautiful, isn't it? It take a lot of upkeep. I just look at those houses and I think, oh God, you've got to clean it, but I suppose you'd have a cleaner, but having a cleaner can be a pain because you've got to clean up for the cleaner most of the time. But look, it is massive. It is beautiful So they bought that with their ill-gotten gains that they'd stolen from Farida, and she was never found. So their killing then became insatiable over the next few years. I'm just coming back to make sure you're okay. Are you all okay? You're all okay? Hope you're all okay. Let's go back to this story. Or this case. I can't, you call it a story. I'm calling it a story, and I don't mean to be disrespectful with that. But it is an incredible, just something off a film. It's one of those, isn't it? You see it on a film, you think, oh, that would never happen. That would never happen. Anyway, their killing then became insatiable over the next few years. While she was heavily pregnant with Fourniret's baby, Olivia lured 20-year-old Fabienne Leroy from a supermarket into her car, feigning illness and pretending to need directions to a doctor's surgery. See, he could not have done this without her. This is what makes her almost worse than him, even though I know he's the one that did the murdering and whatever. But she lured these poor girls, to their deaths, knowing what was going to happen to them. And by leaning on their good nature, luring someone into a car by pretending she was ill because she's pregnant and needed directions to a doctor's surgery. That just seems worse almost, doesn't it? But makes me so angry. And then I think, why do women do? What woman would do that? I could not do that. I could never, even on a smaller scale. What I was saying. If a friend of mine received abuse from a man, even if it was just verbal abuse, I just could not. That would be it for me as far as they were concerned. They drove her to a forest where Leroy was tied up, raped and shot dead with a shotgun. Olivia said she checked Leroy was a virgin before the killing on his orders, but she later claimed she didn't go through with that. Well, I don't believe her. Jean-Marie Desralamau, 21, met the killer couple on a train in 1989 as she was travelling to stay in a convent. Fourniret reportedly found her like a vision of the Virgin Mary. Desramal was invited to their house to babysit, but when Fourniret asked her if she was a virgin after she arrived, he flew into a rage when she said no. Poor girl. The couple gagged and strangled her to death before burying her in the grounds of the Chateau du Sautou. Police would also find the body of 12-year-old Elizabeth Brichet near Desramal in the soil years later. Fourniret and Olivia abducted Brichet. She was walking home from a friend's house in Belgium. And after attempting to suffocate her with a plastic bag, he strangled her and stored her body in a freezer before burying her in the castle grounds. Poor little thing. Bless. 12 years old. A year later, they lured 13-year-old Natasha Dane into their van after they spotted her walking home from a shop to fetch her mum's forgotten purse. They stabbed her in the chest with a screwdriver, strangled her and dumped her body on the beach. At trial, it was suggested that Fourniret RAPD'd her after she was dead. This was the last murder they carried out together. And I'll tell you what really struck me, because this apparently, this genuinely is their bodies in the morgue covered. Look how small they are. They're just tiny. You can hardly even see the indentation on the sheets. Though, having said that, I think one of them might have been quite decomposed at the time. I don't know. Anyway, I don't even want to think about it. Can't think about it because I won't be able to sleep. So, in 2000, Fourniret RAPD'd and murdered 18-year-old Celine Saison before abducting, raping and murdering 13-year-old Mananya Thumpong a year later. Saison's body was found by mushroom foragers a few months after her death, while Thumpong's, please don't stop saying just the surname, where Mananya's body was mostly eaten by wild animals. Dear me, by the time it was discovered in the woods almost a year later. Anyway, so this is the good bit. This is when he was brought to justice. So his stomach-turning reign of terror came to a dramatic end in 2003 when his tried and tested method of kidnapping went wrong. He lured a 13-year-old Belgian girl into his van and tied her up, sexually assaulted her and threatened to kill her. Look, it just looks like you literally, I mean, he's quite muscly, so maybe he's a little bit sort of misleading, because when you look at his face, he looks like nothing, does he? Really, I think. But then actually when you look at his arms there, he's quite muscly. So anyway, when the van stopped, she broke free of her restraints and got out of the vehicle. A passing motorist picked her up and managed to jot down the license plate. He was soon in custody and the victim's hair was found in his van. That's when Olivier, the wife, finally Monique turned on him, because she was trying to save her own skin, not because she had an attack of conscience. It's just she turned on him because she was trying to avoid a lengthy sentence herself. And she then claimed after 20 years that she'd been the victim of a controlling psychopath. So 20 years. So in 20 years, she'd never had an opportunity to go into a police station and plead for help. Rubbish. Realizing he was doomed, he then actually cooperated with police and he confessed to many of the crimes, even showing investigators where some of his victims were buried. And I think some of these twonks, they do that because that extends the time before they're put in prison, You want to go out, go into the woods, relive it one more time in his head, look at the victim, have a bit of power. And I think they do that for that reason. They do it so they do it so that they'll have a bit longer out and about, I think, because they just love talking about it as well. Once they realize that they're never going to get out to do it again, then talking about it is all they've got. So in 2006, one of his daughters from a previous marriage tragically took her own life after her father's horrific acts became known. One day I need to do some sort of a series on the relatives of people that have to live with this. And quite often other members of the family delete themselves in these cases because they can't live with the guilt. It's not even their fault. He can live with it. He doesn't give a shit because he's a psychopath. But the family quite often, and sometimes the family of the victims as well, end up deleting themselves because they just can't live with it. But he wouldn't care and she didn't care. So he was convicted of 7 murders and sentenced to life in prison. And Olivier was given a minimum of 28 years for her complicity in the killings. God. The sickening testimony at trial included Fourniret saying he'd made them his, I don't know, the first names aren't there, Saison and Thumpong say, "Would you make love with me, monsieur? Thank you, monsieur," during their ordeal, because these were phrases which Olivia admitted using herself to excite him during sex. Anyway, they divorced. Fourniret and Olivia divorced while they were in prison in 2010. But then he went on and made many more confessions. So in 2018, that's when he admitted responsibility for Joanna Parish that I was talking about earlier today in the rant of the day. She was a Leeds University student from Gloucestershire who was working at a school in Burgundy as part of her French degree. Now, she was advertising English classes. Oh, sorry, that must come up later. I thought it came up here. But yeah, apparently she put an advert out, that she was because she was a teacher giving English classes, and that's how it's thought that they came into contact with each other, that he contacted her to organise classes. God. Anyway, he also confessed to killing Marie-Angèle Domesse, an 18-year-old disabled woman, 2 years earlier. And then in 2020, one of France's most high-profile missing persons cases focused on the Ogre of the Ardennes. 9-year-old Estelle Mouzin didn't come home from school in Guermantes in France in 2003, and a national search for her was launched. And when Fourniret was arrested in Belgium later in the year, he was suspected. But a phone call from his house at the time of her disappearance gave him an alibi. Look at this little girl. Oh, God. Bless her little soul, Estelle Mouzin. So the case went unsolved for 17 years until finally, in 2020, Olivia admitted she had made that phone call that discounted him from the investigation. Oh, bless. And he also confessed to being involved with Mouzin's disappearance. Now, this is a while ago, so I don't know if they said they used diggers. I don't think they found her body. I'll probably find that on Wiki. Let me have a look. No, unfortunately, her body still has not been found, I don't think. Not found. So that's very sad, isn't it? It doesn't make, it's still sad whether the body's found or not, but I think it is something for a parent. You all okay there in the chat? I've just come back for a minute. Oh my God. Mal, you should write a book. Write a book. Oh my God. I'm just looking back up here. What words did I say? I'm saying the words, yeah. I know the thing is you try not to say the words that you think YouTube are going to pick up on, but you never know it, to be honest, really, or it is. Okay, so what a horror, him and his wife, awful people, and then she only actually reported him because she was trying to save her soul, her own, well, not her soul, but she was trying to save her own skin. Okay, now let me just turn that off. So we're going to look at some videos now. So I'm just saying, if it does suddenly cut off in the middle of this stream, it'll be because they've picked up on some copyright. I have to keep stopping them every now and again and try and avoid them. Hi, Kelly. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Not that one. Not that one. Okay, we've got a little video of him arriving at court. And it just sort of tells about him. It was hard to find videos that were in English because obviously, so this is some French television. France 24 is a French public broadcast service. And all, you know, I want to give credit to them, but I don't know if they'll get the ump about copyright or not. I have no idea. Like the BBC don't bother, Sky News don't bother. They probably just want people to share their videos as much as possible, but you just never know. So if it does suddenly cut off, that's why. But
it's unclear how many unresolved crimes he took to his grave. Michel Fourniret confessed to the murders of 11 females, all teenagers and young women. In 2008, he was sentenced to life in prison with...
Sorry, did you see how nondescript he is? Look. I mean, if you saw him in the street, you literally, I don't think you'd even notice him. You know, that's like, it just not, there's nothing distinct, apart from his glasses, maybe. There's nothing distinctive about him, is there? There's nothing where you think, oh, he looks scary, or he's not handsome, but he's not ugly, he's just like nothing. Just would not notice him.
Was sentenced to life in prison without possibility of parole. His then wife, Monique Olivier, was given up.
And she's got evil eyes I don't think he's got evil eyes. I didn't notice his eyes were evil, but it might be because he's got glasses on and you can't tell. Whereas I do think she looks quite evil, but I expect she's seen some things.
A life sentence with a minimum term of 28 years.
Yeah, she looks just dead inside. Just I expect the things she's seen over the years. Whenever I see her, you know, her eyes just look dead.
Complicity. 2 years ago, following hundreds of hours of interviews, Fourniret confessed to 4 other murders, one being...
So somebody tell me how you could watch a little girl like that being murdered, even if it was your husband or the person you loved or whoever it was. How could you watch that and then still not go to the police? I just don't. Honestly, it's totally beyond me.
Being that of Estelle Mouzin, who disappeared 18 years ago from Guermantes, a small town east of Paris. Detectives first considered Fourniret a suspect in the girl's disappearance in 2006 after they...
He looks a little bit like Jeremy Corbyn to me. He just does, but you know, I think he looks very innocuous, but he is quite muscly. He's very deceiving.
They found a photo of her on his computer, but the lead wasn't followed up. Speaking after learning of the serial killer's death on Wednesday, Mouzin's father berated the French justice system for not bringing the truth to light sooner so that Fourniret could have gone to trial for the crime.
See, obviously the family wanted him to go to trial because they want to have their moment in court with him. You know, it doesn't bring their daughter back. They want to face him. They want to hear him, tell him what happened. They want to, you know, and they're fuming. They're fuming with the French police. So it's not only the British police that are rubbish, or the Spanish police, or whatever, the French police. You know, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just so difficult to deal with these sort of cases, but it feels like they were let down. The families were let down because apparently they found a photo on his computer, but it wasn't followed up.
Cette mort, elle concrétise le gâchis de la justice dans le cadre du traitement de cette personne. Je pense qu'il y a 5 ou 6 ans, il fallait s'intéresser à son cas. Et le temps perdu ne peut jamais se rattraper.
So when they arrested him for the other murders, they found a photo of this poor guy's, Eric Mouzin. They found a photo of his daughter Estelle on his computer, but it was never followed up. So it's years now. It's by the time this video was made, he was never, you know, taken into account for it, and now he's dead. Then he died, and the father's saying it's, you know, they've never had a chance to, you know, face him.
De ce temps-là perdu dont nous souffrons aujourd'hui.
Seen here in the grey pullover and with long grey hair, Fourniret's ex-wife Monique Olivier helps investigators search for Estelle Mouzin's body in the...
Yeah, so that's her at some point when she was in prison. trying to find the body of this girl, but she never did.
Ardennes, a few days before the killer's death. It's now Olivier alone who will face justice for her complicity in 3 of the murders confessed to by Fourniret in 2019.
Les meurtres commis par le couple ont toujours été à 4 mains. Monique Olivier a encore toute sa tête. Aujourd'hui, les enquêteurs de la section de recherche de Dijon, la juge, sa greffière connaissent parfaitement le parcours de Michel Fourniret et Monique Olivier. On doit pouvoir résoudre d'autres affaires.
So he's gone to meet his maker, and hopefully he'll be being held to account in the next world. And she's been left to face the music herself. And, you know, she's just as guilty anyway, in my eyes. I know he's probably, well, he will be the one who's committed the RAPEs. But the murders, I suppose, as well, I don't know. But you don't know what hand did she have in that. But she certainly had a hand in the abductions.
Michel Fourniret confessed to committing 2 murders a year, so many cases that they may never be resolved.
So 2 murders a year. He was active for 20 years. So that's 40 in total. But it definitely, they'll never know all the people that, all the poor girls that he was guilty of killing. Okay, so that's one video I wanted to show you. We're still on, so they haven't got me for copyright. Yeah, it's true, Mal. Women can be just as evil. It's awful, isn't it? It just always seems worse. I know it shouldn't, but, you know, it shouldn't be worse, but it just feels worse. So I don't know. Hey, Julia, I'm not sure what those goggles were, because he had a bulletproof jacket on just in case anyone tried to shoot him. But I don't know what the goggles were for. But yeah, Mal, thank you for sharing. I hope it, you know, that's a big thing to trust us with, but thank you. And I do think you should write a book. Yeah, DMV, that's what I'm trying to do. Keep stopping and commentating. Okay, so that was one video I wanted to show you. And the other one, again, I don't know if they'll get me for copyright. Now, this is the trailer for a film about him. By a it says by, who's it by? Oh, Lord, let me share it first. And I always give people credit. I never try, you know, I'm not trying to pretend it was me who made this film. I always say where my sources are from. Journeyman Pictures, and this was in 2008, so it's quite a long time ago, but it still might be picking up on it for copyright. And this was a trailer to a full film documentary. I don't know, it's an amateur film. I just don't know. It's 10 minutes, so I'm going to have to stop it regularly. But I think you'll find it really interesting.
The 26th of June, 2000.
So on one occasion, he was in front of a judge in the morning and he murdered a girl in the afternoon. And that reminded me a lot of Ed Kemper, the co-ed killer in America, in California, because one day when he went to one of his hearings after he'd been let out, he actually had the head of one of his victims in his car boot. You know, so because he wasn't monitored either, you know. I think in these times when these things happened, I think hopefully it would be different now. But in those times, in the sort of 70s and 80s, there was this feeling that people could be rehabilitated. I don't think that's, I think it's generally accepted that Ps especially, and, you know, serial killers, they cannot be rehabilitated. It's not something, it's, you know, it's something that's inside them and they can never change. I think it is an illness. I think they should treat it as an illness, but not in that they think they can cure it. It's a terminal illness. They cannot be cured. and they've just got to be removed completely from society. They're not going to get better. In fact, they're just going to get worse.
Jeune fille l'après-midi.
Barely 6 weeks after his release, when he's 45, Michel Fourniret commits.
Right, so this particular, it now tells you to go to www.journeyman, you know, that's the trailer to sort of invite you in, but yeah, so you're welcome to do that. Go and watch the end of it or look at, so I hope you've God knows what's going on in the chat. I hope you've enjoyed that. So that is the story of the Beast of the Ardennes, who I had heard of but didn't know that full story. I mean, it's just amazing the way they met, the way he and Monique met, you know, through pen pals in prison, and she knew, and then they made this pact that if he murdered her husband, her ex-husband, she would help him kidnap, rape and murder young girls, children, really. That seems, you know, doesn't seem sort of equitable, really, does it? I mean, I don't know what happened with her first husband, or what, you know, maybe he was a twonk as well. He probably was, because she obviously wasn't really brilliant with choosing men, was she? I mean, I thought I was bad at choosing men, but I'm better than that. But so maybe he was a twonk, maybe he deserved to be murdered, I don't know. But imagine somebody saying to, oh yeah, well, if you kill my husband, I'll help you abduct and murder and rape children. Because those two are equal, aren't they? Of course they are. Very weird. Exactly, Renee. There's so many strange people in the world. You just think, oh my God, it's it's sort of scary. But of course, there are a lot of nice people in the world. So we have to remember that. But oh my God, I mean, if you look at it as percentage of the population, serial killers are, you know, not very common. It's just obviously if you watch true crime channels and that, in the end you think, oh my God, there's loads of him. There isn't loads of him. It's few that you're more likely, you know, to get murdered by somebody you know, your partner, your brother, your father, even, or mother, sister, you know, their daughter, son, you know, murders, they're normally quite personal, aren't they? So serial killers are few and far between. That's something I could look at one day, is like, how many are there? How many have there been? And, you know, what's the percentage? I don't know. Oh, have you all liked? Thank you, David. There's David sorting out the like button for me. I'm going to have my dinner now. I'm going to have, what am I having? Tuna pasta again. That's what I normally have. Thank you, Jackie. Yeah, tuna pasta is about more or less what I have every night. Exactly. Amal, it was so nice of you to share tonight. I hope you're okay with it all and that. I honestly think you should write a book. I do, because those are, you know, it helps when you write a book, get it all out there, you know, and just get it off your chest. Oh, I can't wait to see Claire's new little doll's house. Have you got it all organised, Claire? You got your Christmas doll's house? Are you sorting it? Oh, hi, Julie. What, has anyone noticed anything different about Jackie? Jackie, what's different? Has anyone noticed anything different about Jackie? She says, please help me, because I haven't noticed anything different. Right, nobody's. Jackie, what's different? Have you turned yellow? Has she turned yellow? No. All right, you've got to press the thing, Jackie, and it'll come up. If you go into your member thing, if it's like an anniversary of 6 months, it comes up like oh yeah, she's yellow. Oh, it must be because I can't see it on here. I can't see it on here. I'm working. I want to work on getting some, you know, because at the moment there's stars and they're different colour stars, which is fine. But I'm trying to work to getting some better emojis. But anyway, no, it's just Jackie on my thing here on StreamYard that I'm recording on. I can't see it like that. I could probably, if I went on the phone, I could see it. But I'm sure there's a little thing that you can press and it comes up like an anniversary thing. Have a look on it down where your members thing is. It might, because people have done that before. Yeah. Thank you, Jackie, for that. Anyway, thank you for being a member for 6 months. You don't have to be mad to work here, but it helps, isn't it? It's one of them. You don't have to be mad to be here, but it helps. Oh, it's been so lovely tonight. I know we've been talking about like a horrible subject. I mean, do you not think it is like pretty crazy, isn't it? You know, but it's been nice, hasn't it, to talk about something different. It's nice to talk about something different. Yeah, Desi, you can. If you go to the bottom right and press, it should be something that will come up as a message. Like actually as a message, 6 month member or something. I'm trying to think, I can't do it on mine. I can only do it on the and that. I can't do it on when I'm on StreamYard. I can't do it when you. Oh, what happened there? When I do a premiere and I'm following, I can do it then. Oh, Jackie. Jackie's a gold star student. Gold star student. That's it. It's where the dollar sign is, Jackie. If you look at where the dollar sign is, you're right, David. It's so good to change the topic. So good. If you go where the dollar sign is and press that, it should show you like how to put your message up for being a 6 month member. Anyway, so I'll be back tomorrow. What day is it tomorrow? It's Tuesday. Yep, there'll be another. There'll be another installment of my book, the confessions book. It's near the end that now, so last couple of chapters going out, and then I'm going to put that on a playlist for anyone who wants to listen to it all together, rather than listening to the listen to the installments. And then very soon, later this week, there'll be the next installment for members of my crime novel. It's all forming in my head now, the next couple of chapters. I feel like my head's clear for the first time, you know, for all that rubbish that was going on. That it's not rubbish because it was important, but you know what I mean. It was just took over my whole head space. And now I feel I can sort of concentrate on other things. Claire, I've finished recording the report. There's a playlist for the report. You know, I've read it out bit by bit for people, and it's all there on the playlist now. Oh, Charlie, my God be with me. Yeah, I'm going to say that in a moment. Oh, Julie. Anyway, I'm going. So enjoy your evening. Thank you for being here. It's been lovely. It's been really, really. That's how it should be. We should come on here and enjoy it. You know, not on here, including me. I'm not on here to not enjoy it. I do it because I enjoy it. And for yourselves, it's nice that you enjoy it. So Heather, night, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow. And remember to live and love carefully, wisely. Please don't get involved with someone like this bloody Michel Fourniret. I mean, anyway, so don't go right into prisoners. You know, that would be my advice. And look after you, because you're the most important person. So especially now in the winter and everything, you need to look after yourself. Got Christmas coming up. Going to have a lot of fun in December. Everything's going to be fun. You know, we're going to talk about true crime and stuff like that, but we're going to have fun. And yes, stay clear of the twonks. This is a twonk-free zone. Twonk or twonkess or twonkettes, whichever. So it could be twonk and twonkette or twonk and twonkess, whichever way you want to look at it. But night, and until I see you again, may your God go with you. Thank you.